Welcome to the deep dive, where we cut through the noise and get straight to the insights you need. You know, AI is changing everything, it feels like, but it often seems stuck in a browser tab or some app. It makes you wonder, right? What if you could have really powerful AI right there in your terminal, something that actually helps you do stuff? Well, today, that's exactly what we're diving into. Google's Gemini command line interface. The Gemini CLI, it just got announced June 25th, 2025. So our mission today is to really unpack this thing. What is it? What makes it tick? How does it, fundamentally change how we might use AI day to day? And yeah, what does it mean for you? Okay, so let's kick things off. For anyone not quite up to speed yet, what is the Gemini CLI? And why are people saying it's such a big deal compared to other AI tools?
Right. So it's an open source AI agent from Google. Yeah. Brings Gemini right into your terminal. It's still in preview, mind you, but calling it just another tool kind of misses the mark. It's more of a fundamental paradigm shift, really.
Yeah.
Most AI tools we use are web-based, right? You go somewhere, type something, get something back. Gemini CLI, though, it lives in your command line. It's integrated. That makes it less of a passive suggestion box and more like an active assistant working right there with your stuff, your local files, your code. It's moving AI from a destination to, part of your environment.
Okay, active assistant. I like that. So it's not just spitting out text or code snippets in isolation. You mentioned coding. I assume it's good at that. But what else? What are some of the maybe more surprising things it can do based on what we're seeing?
Oh, yeah. Its range is pretty impressive. Yeah. The sources we looked at show it can write code, sure, but even generate whole applications. And get this, it can apparently create media, videos, music, which, for a command line tool, that's pretty wild. But the really crucial part is that it can execute commands directly on your machine to get things done. Complex tasks, deep research, problem solving, all happening within your workflow.
It really leans into that idea, interacting with your tools, your code. It's about speeding things up. Think about querying huge code bases with plain English, or automating annoying stuff like managing pull requests, or doing complex Git rebases. It actually does things.
That does sound incredibly powerful. So what's under the hood? What's the engine driving this thing?
So it's powered by Gemini 2.5 Pro. That's Google's top tier large language model right now. Yep. It's been doing really well, especially on coding tests. Apparently even better than some of the big OpenAI models like the GPT series in certain benchmarks.
Okay, Gemini 2.5 Pro. And I keep hearing about this massive context window. What? What exactly is a context window? Why does that matter so much here?
Right. Context window. Think of it like the AI short-term memory. It's how much information, your prompts, its answers, the whole back and forth it can keep track of at once. Gemini 2.5 Pro has a 1 million token context window. Now, a token is roughly like a few characters or part of a word. So 1 million tokens. That's massive.
Yeah.
It's like 750 pages of text. This means it can remember the entire conversation, huge amounts of project details, without forgetting what you told it 5 minutes ago. That's a really big leap compared to a lot of other models out there.
Wow. 750 pages. Okay. Now, one of the things Google's really pushing is this idea of local operation. They say it runs on your machine, your data stays private. Is it really that simple? What are the sources telling us about that?
Yeah, that's a really key claim. And it's interesting. Google says it runs locally. That your code, your proprietary data, never sent to an external server. Unprecedented security and privacy is the pitch. But digging into the user discussions, like on Reddit, there's definitely some skepticism. People are asking, okay, is the data really processed locally? Or are embeddings, maybe parts of the content, still going to Google servers? Which, is a fair question if you're dealing with sensitive business data. One person specifically asked about that image processing example. Does it send the images to Google? The original person who posted about the CLI on Reddit actually acknowledged these questions and said they were going to look into it more. So yeah, the official claim is local, but the community is still figuring out the exact details.
Okay. That's definitely something potential users need to be aware of. Good to know. Beyond that, though, it's also open source. What are the implications of that?
That's right. Fully open source. Apache 2.0 license. This is great for transparency, right? Developers can actually look at the code, see how it works, check the security claims themselves, and it fosters community involvement. People can report bugs, suggest new features, even contribute code fixes directly on GitHub. And this open approach ties into its extensibility, too, through something called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP.
MCP?
Yeah, MCP. Think of it as like a standard way for the AI agent to plug into other things, other tools, servers, APIs, whatever. It makes the tool potentially infinitely extensible, as they put it. So you could hook it up to Google's VO model for video, or Lyria for music, or even third-party tools. It's designed to grow.
Okay, so it's powerful, it's open, it's built to connect to other things, which brings us to the big question, why free? What's Google's angle here? Is there a catch?
Yeah, well, it's definitely a strategic move in the AI war, as people are calling it.
Yeah.
And the free tier is very generous. You get 60 requests per minute, up to 1,000 per day, using Gemini 2.5 Pro with that huge 1 million token window.
And just to put that in perspective, using something comparable on, say, Anthropic's Claude or OpenAI, that could easily run you, what, $50 to $100 a day? And you're saying Google doesn't even ask for a credit card for this free tier, just a regular Google account.
Exactly. No credit card, no subscription needed for that level. So Google's not trying to make money directly from the CLI itself, not right now anyway. It's an ecosystem play. They want developers using their tools, getting comfortable in their environment, like Android or Chrome, right?
Yep.
Get people using the core free product.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, as their needs grow, they'll start using the other paid services, Google AI Studio, Google Cloud, other APIs that integrate well. It's about building that foundation and keeping developers sticky.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, for us users, this competition is fantastic. It really does level the playing field. Individuals, small businesses suddenly get access to truly enterprise-grade AI for free. That's huge for innovation.
Okay, we've covered the tech, the strategy. Let's make it real. What does this actually do for someone? Can you give us some concrete, real-world examples from the sources of how people might use this?
Yeah, absolutely. The sources had some great ones. Let's take image processing. Because the CLI works locally, it can mess with your files directly. So you could literally type, convert all the images in this directory to Muama and rename them to use dates from the EXIF data.
Whoa.
Yeah. And the AI would just do it. Scan the folder, read the EXIF metadata inside each image file, where the camera stores the date and time, convert the format, and rename the files automatically.
That saves so much tedious work or scripting.
Exactly. Or another one, building a web app dashboard. Imagine prompting it.
Yeah.
Make a full screen web app for a wall display to show our most interactive with GitHub issues. The AI would then generate all the code, the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, figure out how to talk to the GitHub API to get the issue data, and build you this dashboard. Ready to go.
That's kind of mind-blowing. It's like having a mini dev team in your terminal. And I saw examples too of just generating simple shell scripts, right? Like one to grab the first 10 lines of a file.
Yep, simple stuff like head NAS N10 file name. Perfect for quick automation tasks.
I can immediately see uses for that. Back when I was trying to organize my photo library. Oh man, the hours it could have saved.
Totally. And beyond scripting, it's useful for just understanding complex code bases. You could ask it to describe a systems architecture or point out potential security issues or even help plan migrating code from one version to another. And one more API development. It can integrate with tools like Epidog MCP server was mentioned to read an API's definition and generate all the boilerplate code, DTOs, controllers, client libraries, stuff that's necessary but often repetitive to write.
Okay, you've sold me. It sounds incredibly useful. So for listeners who are thinking, all right, I want to try this, what do they actually need to get started?
It's actually pretty straightforward. You need a computer, obviously Mac, Windows, or Unix are all supported. You need Node.js installed, specifically version 18 or newer, and you just need a standard Google account. That's it for the free tier. Installation is simple too. You can either run it directly using npx followed by the GitHub URL npx https.github.com, Gemini-CLI, or you can install it globally on your system with npm install-g at Google Gemini CLI Gemini. Either way works.
Okay, and the first time you run it, it walks you through setup. Choosing a theme, signing in, seems easy enough. And it just uses your regular Google login for that free access we talked about. Though I guess if you need more power, you can go generate a proper API key in Google AI Studio.
That's right. The standard login is easiest, but the API key option is there for people hitting those generous free limits or needing more control.
And then you just type Gemini in your terminal and start talking to it and use the @ to point it at files. And it works inside VS Code's terminal too.
Exactly. Type Gemini, ask your question, or give your command. Use that to easily select files or folders for it to work with. And yeah, it integrates smoothly into environments like the VS Code terminal, designed to fit right in.
Right. Now, whenever something new and powerful like this comes out, there are always little quirks, things people figure out as they use it. What kind of practical tips or troubleshooting points came up in the sources?
Well, definitely looping back to that local operation discussion.
Yeah.
It's less troubleshooting, more awareness maybe. While Google claims local processing, users are still asking about data privacy for sensitive stuff. Just something to keep in mind.
Good point. What else?
Other things people ran into, some folks had issues with their specific Google account type, maybe not being eligible initially, though that might be getting ironed out. Some had trouble getting the API key method to work smoothly. Oh, and a really good pro tip someone shared for dealing with huge projects: chunking.
Chunking.
Yeah, like if you try to feed the AI an absolutely massive code base all at once using the @command, it can get slow because of that huge context. So the tip was to break it down. Use a command like git else files sargs split lines 300. That lists all the files tracked by git, then splits that list into smaller chunks of, say, 300 lines each, which you can then feed to Gemini CLI one by one. Keeps things snappy.
Clever workaround. Makes sense.
And then there's the standard stuff from Google's own docs. Double check your Node.js version, make sure your network connection is good, verify the API key setup if you're using one. Be aware of the rate limits. You'll see a 429 resource exhausted error if you hit them. Also, they mentioned that the thinking feature, which apparently improves response quality on the 2.5 models, is on by default. But it does add a bit of delay and uses more tokens, so you can turn it off if you prioritize speed or token usage.
Gotcha. Lots of little things to know.
Yeah, but overall, the picture emerging is that this Gemini CLI, it feels like more than just software, doesn't it? It's kind of a glimpse into maybe how it will work, how we'll create things in the future. It's making really powerful AI much more democratic.
So yeah, let's bring it back. What does this mean for you listening right now? It means that kind of AI power that used to cost a fortune or require massive infrastructure, it's now potentially sitting right there in your terminal for free. That's huge for individuals, for small teams, for anyone trying to innovate or just get stuff done more efficiently. So maybe think about it. What repetitive, annoying tasks do you do? What ambitious project have you put off because it seemed too complex? Could an AI assistant in your terminal change that?
Exactly. And maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. The question isn't really if AI will change your field anymore. It's becoming, will you be driving that change or reacting to it? Because this opportunity, it's powerful, it's accessible, it's free, and it's literally waiting for you in your terminal.